What's up, YouTube? Happy Halloween. This is the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with kind of an off-the-wall video to celebrate Halloween. And for those of you with young kids, I hope you get to enjoy Halloween night with them. My kids are 11 now, and they don't even want to go trick-or-treating anymore, so I'm going to miss those days. It was always a lot of fun taking the kids around the neighborhood to get candy, but I did put together kind of a different video for you guys because an article came out on New York Times and elsewhere about a movie-used X-Wing prop that sold for big money. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of segue that into recent sales on Hakes and eBay. Some of them are not recent, for props from the movies, costumes, replicas, things like that. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to show you what some of the prices look like for those, since it's not really an area or a genre within Star Wars that I cover very much. And you can see this crazy thumbnail here. I went to Bing, their artificial intelligence image creator, and I said, Star Wars Halloween pumpkins, show me something. And this is what Bing's artificial intelligence, Skynet, if you will, this is what they came up with. I have no idea why there's a lizard here. It kind of reminds me of the lizard from Mandalorian Season 2. I don't know what this is. Lando looks like his face got melted by the Sarlac Pit, and Darth Maul is dressed up in costume like Han Solo. And again, this looks like Bosk after a meth bender. I have no idea what that is, but it's actually a really cool image. And if you haven't played around with the Bing AI, you got to check it out. It's really fun. But that's what Bing came back with, and I decided to use that for my thumbnail for the video. So happy Halloween. So here's the article. Greg Gene, he was an Oscar-nominated visual effects artist. He died last year, and I guess his friends and family were kind of going through his garage and kind of cleaning things out. And stashed in a cardboard box in his garage was a movie-used prop from the 1977 Star Wars film of the X-Wing. And they thought it was lost to time. Apparently, he had looked for it in the past and he couldn't find it. Well, it was found, and it was put up at auction, and it sold for $3.1 million, far exceeding the opening price of $400,000. So this is an item that people had been looking for, or he and his family had been looking for a while. And lo and behold, after he passed away, they were cleaning things out and they did find it. So crazy, crazy final sales price for that X-Wing. But apparently it was just kind of one of those items that has kind of a lore behind it, and people really wanted to have it. So $3.1 million. And I did find on Hakes a few items. First of all, the Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure, that really crappy 1984 made-for-TV film. There was some feathers, I guess, that were used on one of the Ewoks, and that sold back on Hakes in 2015 for $600. So even some of the less desirable aspects of Star Wars filming and TV shows, if it's a movie-used prop, they can command some big money. But that one did sell for $603. It's basically just some feathers, 2 sets of feathers that were worn as part of that crappy TV show or movie. And here are a couple of different Star Wars pieces. So this is from Episode 4, the Death Star surface. It was just a small surface panel that was 3¼ inches by 3¼ by 1¼ So a really, really small piece that was used to make the original film. That one sold back in 2019 for $1,770, including the buyer's premium. Now, that one seems like a lot for just like a little 3-inch piece of, styrofoam. This one's even crazier. This one sold in July of 2023, so this year, and it was a larger piece, admittedly. It was 17¼ inches by 22 by 4, and it was basically part of the section that was done by Industrial Light and Magic for the original film, and this was actually used in the climactic trench run scene. So this has a little bit more cash behind it, cachet. And, it was used as part of that filming of that pretty iconic scene. So it's a more important item. Now, the value code on it was $35,000 to $50,000. That sold for $21,417. So it came in below estimates, but, pretty much everything, whether it's graded toys or even these movie props and pieces, still come in below value here recently, but $21,000 is a lot of money to spend. But admittedly, it's from the trench run. It's from that iconic scene, so it commanded a pretty big number. Now, moving over to eBay, I did find some other kind of prop-related type stuff or movie-related, and again, I don't know how much it really relates to Halloween, but that's what I'm going with. This was a really cool one, and I'm shocked by the sales price on it. These are actual storyboards used for the Empire Strikes Back movie. So it's a part of the, the actual storyboard and, creating of the movie, and it's got some images here that this owner had, and, I'm sure they're photocopies to a certain extent, but they're actually used as part of the movie. And, so the people behind the scenes were using these. And I guess these 1 or 2 pages sold for $170, which is kind of cool. And to me, very reasonable, just given that they were actually used by some employee during the actual making of The Empire Strikes Back. So $170 took that home. Here is a piece from the Sarlac Pit, screen use piece from the Sarlac Pit. Basically just looks like some styrofoam painted sand color, but kind of cool. And it did come with a certificate of authenticity that sold for $200. So you can own your own piece of the actual movie for $200, which is pretty cool. Here's another really cool one. This is a Tonton head casting. So this was, it included a certificate of authenticity. It was guaranteed to be original and part of the Empire Strikes Back filming. So it's like a head that was, probably a sample that was then, cast many times and eventually hand painted and used as part of the stop motion animation for the Tonton. That one sold for $700. So again, to me, I know that's a lot of money, but still that's pretty reasonable considering it's part of the production of the original film. Pretty cool item there. Several different pieces of Death Stars and AT-AT walkers sold. Here is a piece of a section of the production made AT-AT that was used for ESB. And again, these are all models, right? They're models, and this is a piece of the model, so it's a piece of a piece. This seller had 2 of those over in the UK. They sold for about $190. Here's one that's signed by James Earl Jones, and this is a piece of the Death Star from A New Hope. So that's kind of a cool framed piece and pretty awesome display for your collection room to say, hey, I've got a piece of the original Death Star that was used during the 1977 filming, and also signed by James Earl Jones. And it sold for a lot of money, admittedly, $14.75 for that one. So, and again, it's just a piece of styrofoam, really. But again, you can say, hey, I've got a piece of the movie and also got James Earl Jones's autograph. So pretty awesome item. Next up, here's another one. And, I see these occasionally. They're kind of like mounted on mint-on card, kind of replica cards. And these are also pieces of the Death Star 2. For the Return of the Jedi. So someone probably bought a bunch of these and then mounted them individually on custom card backs, and it came with a COA from Screen Use Movie Props. So it's, most likely legit since it's a pretty big company that I'm aware of. And that one sold for $160 in an auction. I found several that sold for between $150 and $175. But again, it's a piece of the Return of the Jedi Death Star 2 for that one. Next up, I've got some movie costume type stuff. There's a lot of people that cosplay or cosplay with different Star Wars outfits for conventions, and I've got my own Boba Fett costume that's really beat to hell at this point from all the drunk idiots kind of hitting me on the head. But I do have a Boba Fett costume that was cast. The helmet was actually cast from the same designer that made the Empire Strikes Back version of Boba Fett's helmet. So that was kind of cool, and I spent a lot of money on it back in the day. This is like 10 or 15 years ago. But here is a kind of a cool one. This is a Mandalorian Ingot, so a piece of Beskar steel. And this is a replica. It includes kind of a little case there. So not my thing, but, some people are kind of into collecting these kind of replica lightsabers and different kind of replica movie props and blasters and things like that. So this is just like a piece of steel that's made to look like Beskar ingots like you would see in The Mandalorian Season 1. This seller had 6 available. 2 of them have sold for $175. Now on to some of the awesome costume masks. I love this Greo Mask. I know Don Post makes pretty incredible masks. I don't know if this is one per se. This might just be some kind of replica, but it looks like a Don Post mask. Awesome. I would love to wake up my wife while she's sleeping wearing one of these and tap her on the head and get really close to her as she opens her eyes. I think it would terrify her. She would probably want to divorce me. But this is a pretty awesome looking mask and gloves. $350 for that Greo. Here was a Walrus Man. This is absolutely my favorite. Walrus Man with the somewhat ball sack looking face there, but that's a pretty awesome mask. I mean, that's a detailed mask, and you could certainly slap on like a big orange, vest and maybe some gloves and, some ugly 1970s pants, and you would look just like Walrus Man from the movie. So pretty cool looking mask there. That one sold in an auction for $405 on 17 bids. So that's a really awesome mask. Here is a first order TIE Fighter pilot prop helmet, and you can see it's got the hose connection. So, obviously the 501st Vader's fist, they go for like movie authentic kind of everything, and everything's got to be exact measurements in order to get into the 501st. I've met a couple of them over the years at different conventions. Very cool. It's a little overkill in my opinion. I don't go that crazy with it, but this is a pretty cool mask though, and you could just picture it with the black outfit and all the hoses and everything. But that mask sold for $600. I thought the Tuscan masks were particularly cool when you balance the price versus the quality of the mask. I just thought this mask was incredible detail on this Tuscan Raider mask. And $250 for that plus $25 shipping. I mean, that just looks awesome. And you could really easily put together a full Tuscan Raider costume just by wrapping your body up in different kind of sheets and things like that. So there's one that's kind of more like First 12, original Star Wars A New Hope kind of style. But I thought this one was really cool too. This is kind of in keeping with the book of Boba Fett, the Tuscan Warriors, with the black kind of headdress there. I thought that was a really nice one. This one was listed for $300, best offer accepted. So lots of really cool options out there. And if you got fairly deep pockets, I mean, to spend $300 on a costume is a lot of money, but you can get a lot of wear from it, assuming your fat head can fit in it. My head is so big that I probably couldn't even fit in some of these, but I just thought the quality of the craftsmanship I thought was worth pointing out on some of these. So really, really cool. Finally, I wanted to show you this one. This is a 1-to-1 ratio, full-size battle droid from the prequel trilogy. Kind of a camo look to it, but probably pretty easy to manufacture if you have any sort of kind of quality craftsmanship. But I just thought that the quality of it was pretty awesome, and it would look kind of cool have it next to your mailbox or next to your front door during Halloween. But this seller had 4 available. 2 of them have sold for $400, free shipping on that one as well. So anyway, just some ideas out there. I wanted to share those for Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. I hope that you have a great evening and eat lots of candy and get a nice sugar rush. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.